A very good afternoon from Summers Street and welcome to Knight Stadium for Sunday afternoon football in round 25, the penultimate round of NPL Victoria for season 2019. The afternoon has turned out to be a rainy one to greet the players of the Melbourne Knights and Hume City as they face off again only 8 days after the Doherty Cup final last Saturday. Thanks for joining us wherever you may be tuning in from. My name is Steve Curtin and I'm joined by someone who knows these teams inside and out. A big hello to you, Chris Gleeson.
Well, thank you, Steve. It should be an excellent game here at Summer Street. It's actually not too much on offer here for the Melbourne Knights. Unfortunately, it's been a difficult week for them where they have been knocked out of the FFA Cup against Adelaide, but what an occasion that was, and then losing the Doherty final to today's opponents, Hume City. Both sides playing each other last Sunday and playing each other for the third time this year, which has seen Hume City win both matches.
Now, looking at the lineups today, it's wholesale changes for the Knights. Into goal, Jordan Gifkins steps in to replace Harry Chakarun. In defence, we predict that there will be Nikola Glavan, Aidan Bryce, Joey Franich and Luke Jurcic. Moving up into midfield, Nikola Jurkovic, Ivan Gergic, Gian Albano, with players out wide offering width, including Caleb Mikulic, Mohamed Awad, and up front, Adrian Tardio. On the bench for the Knights, Thomas Scoff, Felipe Sanchez, Luka Jurkovic and Corey Sewell. So we're just about to get underway. There is no change for the Hume City lineup. Coached by Nick Hegarty, Michael Weir in goal, Matthew Lazaridis, Paul Wilson, Hayden Tennant, Danny Dixon in defence. In front of them, Ben Bowler and Theo Marcallis, Steve Hewitt. Out wide is James Brown, Marco Dalic, and up front is Mitch Cooper. As we're underway here at Knight Stadium, as the rain continues to come down, it's the Melbourne Knights in their red shirts and white shorts, and Hume in their change strip, the white shirts and the red shorts. So it's a sea of red and white out there at the moment, with just a splash of blue being the Melbourne Knights socks. And the home side, they're attacking the left-hand side of your picture as you're tuning in at the moment. And that's cleared away there by Paul Wilson.
I feel it's going to be quite a scrappy game. It's quite wet, as you can understand, underfoot.
You can expect the pitch will chop up quite a bit today, but I'm sure these players will be able to manage and play some reasonable football, at least in patches.
A good chance here for Albano.
Albano keeps it in. And this is Luke Jurcic coming into the starting lineup today. Mohamed Awad goes to ground. And Hume can come away only temporarily. There's Franich.
Well, it gives us... I know that our cameraman Chris is listening in, so I might just take the opportunity to let me know if you can just give the camera just a little bit of a clean.
It's a long-range attempt there. It's come from way out. The shot was by Caleb Mikulic, who also coming into the starting 11 today. It's part of those wholesale changes that have taken place today for Marijan Cvikovic's side.
Hume City straight away on the back foot. The Knights who... We say that they haven't really got anything to play for in the final couple of games, the Melbourne Knights. You know, with no opportunity to make the finals, but the Knights always play for that famous red shirt. Always give their best to try to get a victory and sort of atone for the Doherty Cup loss last weekend.
They certainly would want to, and sometimes when the pressure's off in situations like you just described, Chris, is when these teams and these young players can lift and find an extra gear, and that might be what happens today. It's the last home game here at Knight Stadium for the season. And as part of a big day program, we've had the reserves playing beforehand, the women playing on the back pitch, and some juniors this morning. So, unfortunately, it has rained on the parade a little bit, as here's Theo Marcallis. His pass is intercepted well, though. Jurkovic with a switch. So they're looking for Tardio.
It's good work there by Lazaridis to come back. And it'd be... Nicholas Jurkovic would be quite happy to be freed up a little bit back into a defensive midfield position. We're still on the bench today.
I think so. He's had the shackles of playing at fullback freed, and he should put in a good performance today, I think, the former Bell Park boy.
He caused a lot of problems last week and irritated a lot of Hume City players in that Doherty Cup final. He's
that kind of player, isn't he, Chris?
He plays for that shirt, and he's great history with his family at this great club, Melbourne Knights, as well.
And speaking of, his brother is on the subs bench today, so we'll see him a little bit later, no doubt. As Givkins plays that one up the field, but didn't quite have the distance that he had hoped for. Not too sure what the wind's doing out there. It was blowing around crazily before. Now here's Dixon on the right-hand side, overlapping from fullback. Now he's coming into the area. It's a low cross. It's a dangerous one. And here's a big, big chance. And it's the goal. It's finished there. And it is Mitch Cooper with an early goal. We've only gone just under 4 minutes. And it's already 1-0 to Hume City. And that's certainly not the start that Melbourne Knights were looking for after the disappointment of last week. Hume City with was almost a soft finish, really, for Cooper to tap that one home after good work down the right-hand side by Dixon.
Well, Dixon's cross across the 6-yard box. It's always going to be difficult for the keeper to try to hold on to that in these conditions. And fortuitously, it fell into the path of Cooper, who has waited since round 1 against Dandenong Thunder, where he scored 2 goals, to now finally get back on the score sheet for Hume City and give them the perfect start.
So the Knights will look to atone for that one as they get us back underway. But at the moment, Hume City, one attack has led to 1 goal.
Just a sort of a problem that Hume City did create for the Knights a couple of times this year is Hume's fullbacks really get high up the pitch.
Yes.
So Dixon and Lazaridis will push. You'll see them at times. They'll actually be in line with the wingers, and the wingers coming a little bit inverted. So they commit plenty of bodies forward, and they create those overlaps in wide areas. And it's been excellent for Nick Hegarty's side as they've moved up towards the top 6 this year.
And here's Mohammed Awadi in the area. He's just teed it up here. There's a chance. The shot was blocked, though. It was Glavan with the attempt. He also lined up at fullback in the FFA Cup against Adelaide today. He's got a more advanced role in this match. And here's some good skill from Awadi, but the ball's been... referee's called play back here. It's going to be a Hume City ball. I'm not too sure what the offence was there, Chris.
I think it might have been for offside, touching it back to the guy that was taking the corner. So Hume were quick to get back off the goal line. And in fact, with the ball taking into the box, it must have gone out for
must have just gone behind the byline. And we've had another infringement there. I think the ball hasn't left the 18-yard box. That rule still in play, unlike anyone watching the EPL last night, where that rule has now changed.
So we still are in those old rules for at least the next couple of rounds. And
the finals, I would imagine. And it's Michael Weir will play this one long now, I think. Michael Weir, what a season he's had, the 22-year-old. A lot of hype about him maybe playing at a higher level in the not-too-distant future.
Oh, he definitely deserves the opportunity, but looking at A-League lists now, most sides have pretty much sorted their goalkeeping stocks up, so it might be another year in NPL Victoria. He has re-signed with Hume City for a further year.
Here's some play down the right-hand side for the Knights. It was Mohammed Awad laying that one off, and good bit of defending in the end by Hume City just to put that one over the touchline. Fortunately, we're enjoying some very good commentary facilities here today, and everyone outside is getting absolutely saturated. So well done to everyone down here at Knight Stadium for the upgrade of the commentary facilities. We're certainly very appreciative today, is myself and Chris Gleeson. Now, the Knights developing play here, and it's a big chance. The shot comes in, and it's a goal. It's 1-1, and it's a very tidy finish.
And it looks like it's John Albano who scores. So 2 goals very quick.
Well, it's that sort of game. The pressure's off these sides, and they're playing with an attacking approach.
In fact, it isn't John Albano. It looks like it's young Tardio.
I think it is Adrian Tardio. He's the shortest man out there, and he's tapped that one into the back of the net. Michael Weir was on the ground lying in the other direction and just tucked away for a 1-1 scoreline now here at Knight Stadium. So don't go anywhere. We've got the close one here and the high-scoring one too. We've only gone 9 minutes here at Knight Stadium, and we've seen a goal at each end. As Michael Weir plays that one long up the field. And just a bit of a midfield stoush at the moment. Mark Ellis, Dixon. As Chris was saying earlier, such a feature of this Hume City side with Nick Hegarty, the fullbacks pushing up very high, was a feature I noticed when watching that replay of the Doherty Cup during the week. That wasn't Dixon's finest pass. It goes straight to Jurkovic. It's Glavan. Little 1-2. All the way back to Joey Franich.
Looks like Melbourne Knights today are employing the back three with Aidan Bryce on the right, Franich in the middle, and Ivan Grigic on the left, with Luke Jurcic and playing the wing back role.
Just a bit of aerial ping pong at the moment. Here's Glavan. And Jurkovic plays it up. Those two combining quite a lot so far. So they're a good little combo of players who have both played recently at right back, now sitting in midfield today. So those guys both enjoying a bit more of a freed up role. Not that you'd call defensive midfield a free role.
They're just enjoying the chance to get up the pitch a little bit more. And definitely a change in that formation that they employed in the Doherty Cup final last week, which was very much a 4-2-3-1 from the Knights.
Here's Jurkovic again, just on the halfway line, with Bryce coming to support, the tall figure of Aidan Bryce. In fact, it was Ivan Grgic, actually, the other tall figure out there. My apologies. Here's Mohamed Awad, and it's a free kick to the Knights.
It's great work there by Mikulic to cut inside, and almost could have pulled the trigger himself if it wasn't for that lunging challenge. And Mohamed Awad has scored some excellent goals this year. Will provide the left-footed option, but
this one, I fancy the left footer from this position, to be honest, Chris. I'd like to see Awad have a go here. Caleb Mikulic also standing over the ball for the right-footed angle. Michael Weir finishes organising his wall. Sometimes the low down free kick's a good idea in the slippery conditions. That one hit the wall though, it was too low down. And it ends up being a goal kick to Hume City. So 1-1 here. We're off to a bright start on a cloudy and rainy day, you could say.
Well, I think the Melbourne Knights have started probably the best out of the two sides. Only that real one opportunity for Hume City, which they were able to get the goal from, but they've been winning the ball back quite quickly in midfield, the Knights, and starting these attacks. So Hume City are the ones who have to try to settle into this game a little bit more. Yeah,
totally agree, Chris. As that goal kick there has just gone flying out right in front of us there. So not Michael Weir's best effort. We gave him a bit of a rap earlier and he's gone and banged that ball out. But it's slippery out there, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt perhaps. That was Tardio trying to get on the end of that one there, the goal scorer for the Knights. Speaking of slippery ball, that one just skidded through his feet there, I think.
It's good to see Tardio back into the starting lineup for the Knights. He's played a lot of under-20s this year. Really broke in towards the side quite well towards the end of the season last year. Got himself, I think, a couple of goals towards the end of the campaign. And once again, a lot of times in the under-20s this year. But he's still a teenager. Still got a bright future. And he's got the option to lead the line today with him and, looks like, John Albano both playing up top together. Weir's going to take no chances with this goal kick.
He's going to send this one up over the halfway line. Little stuttering run up and then bang. Just hangs in the air. Dixon goes for the header. It's over his head. And the linesman in front of us there is D. Hugh. Indicates the throw-in will be taken by the Knights. And we've got a situation here where we need to... Well, we've got no ball boys out on this side because it's saturated...
See one of the Knights fans make his way from the bar to go retrieve it. The bar underneath us here in the tower.
It's quite an undertaking, leaving a spot at the bar, but good on him. There's Mitch Cooper getting in with the challenge, and he's won the free kick there against Jurkovic. Both players very committed there. That's what you like to see. You think there's maybe not too much to play for, but that challenge wouldn't suggest that was the case.
And he gets the warning this time, Nikola Jurkovic. As you said, it's a slippery ball trying to make that challenge. That's what he's in midfield for, to disrupt the attacks of Hume City.
And so far he's smothered their attacks very well so far. So and here's Hume attempting to come through again, looking to play down the left-hand side. Good header there by Bryce though, but it only goes as far as his Hume City opponent. Bryce makes a second effort and he puts it behind for a Hume City corner, so a chance for the big men to come forward for Hume and try and make it 2 attacks and 2 goals perhaps for them. Very efficiency driven so far.
Once again, Matthew Lazaretti's playing left back so high up on the pitch, creating that overload out wide. He's done well to get the corner.
Very exciting player, Matthew Lazaretti's. So all the players just at the top of the D now, and they make the approach into the box. It's swung in. It's away by Bryce, but only partially, and now a wad can come away. Looking for support. Big challenge there. Stays in. There's Dixon. It was Albano putting in the challenge for the Knights.
Cool as you like there from Paul Wilson, just flicking it over the top of the Knights attacker.
Yeah, good play there from Big Blocker Wilson. He's a calm and composed central defender, and that's certainly a key attribute for playing in that part of the field. Here's Dixon again in the long sleeves. Plays it to another man in long sleeves, which is Dallage. Now here's Brown. Mark Ellis. Good bit of defending there by Mikulic.
Yeah, just coming on the blind side. Theo Marcalis is so dangerous when he can cut inside and try to fire those shots away, and Mikulic sort of read that really well.
He read it very well on that occasion, and was eventually cleared away by Jordan Givkins in that all light blue goalkeeping kit that he's wearing today. This is Bowler with the big switched ball out to our commentary side for Dixon. Dixon in the yellow boots is going the wrong direction as far as Hume City is concerned, but here's Michael Weir. He's got a little bit of time for the first time today. Tries to pick out, I think he was actually aiming for Cooper there, but it went to Dixon. Dixon's touch was a bit heavy, but then he goes with the nutmeg against Glavan. Now the switch, and it's gone under Bryce's foot, and here's a big chance for Hume City. That's a good save, though, from Jordan Givkins. It was Lazaretti's coming forward down that left-hand side. As Chris was mentioning earlier, his surging runs are something that the Knights need to watch out for.
You see that, the 2 full-backs combining in that attack with Dixon and Lazaretti's.
Interesting bit of play by Dixon. His touch being so heavy and then ended up going through with the nutmeg just to keep the ball rolling, and then the attack continued quite well after that too.
It's been an interesting transition for Danny Dixon because when he first came over from NPL WA, he was more of an attacking player, a winger.
Yep.
So he spent a bit of time with the Melbourne Knights as a winger and Northcote last year. But then Hume City seen probably a bit short in the centre-back ranks. So he started the season at centre-back.
Yeah, I remember last time I called him, I think against Green Gully, he was lining up at centre-back, and then watching some recent footage, seeing him playing as a marauding right-back. Because he is quite tall, and normally that's not a position you associate with your beanpole type players, but he's doing really well for a tall guy at fullback.
Well, he had an injury that saw him out for quite a few weeks, and that opened the chance for Tennant to get the centre-back position. And
here's Albano playing it through into the area. It's another chance. But Hume City come away with the ball. It was Tardio looking to double his tally for the day already. It's a good bit of defending. Now here's Mark Ellis playing it through to Cooper. This one will stay in for him nicely. Looks to get in a low cross. Well away by Franich. And then Jurcic's pass doesn't work out. This is Brown sharing it with Dixon. Brown again. Little dink over the top. Cooper's effort was miscued. It's away by Franich, calmly and coolly. Mohamed Awad involved. Hewitt. This is Wilson. Hewitt needs to get his foot on the ball there a bit more, I think, in defensive midfield and just try and control control the pace and the tempo of the game. But the Knights are doing a good job of keeping Hewitt out of the game at the moment.
There's Stewart, who won the Jimmy Mackay medal in the Doherty Cup last week for that role, but I sort of agree with you. He hasn't been able to get into the game as much as he probably would have liked. He's probably more suited to the number 10 role, but with Harry Monaghan still out injured, he's got to drop back deep.
Yeah, here comes Mohamed Awad again. He's come into the penalty area. And a chance by Albano, who got a decent shot away at the near post, and it was a very fine save by Michael Weir, getting down low to his right and just trapping that one on a slippery surface. But another good bit of play by the Knights. They're creating chances more so than they have in the previous games, just in the early moments of this match. We're getting on towards 18 minutes here now, so certainly a bright opening by the Knights. Speaking of bright, the floodlights are on at full blast here at Knights Stadium for a match that's 3 o'clock kick-off this afternoon. Now here's James Brown dropping deep to pick up the ball. He goes on a bit of a run, then he's brought down fairly, though, by Mohamed Awad. And cross into there looking for Albano. It's Michael Weir out to pluck that one like a cherry out of a tree. And now Dixon comes up the wing again, puts his foot on the gas. Good bit of defending, though, by Luke Jurcic. But Dixon comes forward again. This is Ivan Gergic was the number 13 involved there. And now here is Jurkovic. Just trying to switch it out there to Caleb Mikulic, and Caleb's done well there. Still he goes, Caleb Mikulic. Looking for Albano at the back post, perhaps. Goes little dummy, tries to go around Wilson. Down the floor, back on his feet. Just didn't know what he was going to do next there. It was quite a dramatic run, and he ends up winning Melbourne Knights a corner.
He had the chance to go a little bit early. Albano made that great run to the back post, but... tried to go to the byline and cut it back pretty hard across the 6-yard box. Pretty much how Hume City got their goal, but it's well defended by Wilson. But the Knights stay on the attack, though.
Yeah, certainly the positioning of the Hume City centre halves were well located there. As the corner comes in from Awad, it's aimed at the penalty spot, but it's away by one of the shorter players, which is Mark Callis. He's Gergic just dinking it into the penalty area again. The header come from Jurkovic, I believe, and it was, in the end, easy for Weir to gobble up. Here's Mark Ellis again. Dixon. Brown. Bowler goes back to Tennant.
Look at the high press from the Knights, making it hard for Hume to play out from the back.
They are very high up the field, and they've certainly dictated terms. A lot of play, a lot of ball at that left-hand side of your pitcher today so far in this match. Here's Brown again. He was harassed by Jurcic, and he wins the free kick just inside his own half.
It's good work from Brown. He really had nowhere else to go with Hume, with most of their numbers back behind the ball, so getting that foul in midfield.
So just a chance for a breather for some of these players. Here's Mark Ellis again. Still he goes. Dixon. Now Wilson can bring it forward. The Knights are set in their defensive block now. Here's Bowler now looking to play it forward. It's a good header by Franich. Dixon comes in for the challenge. It was a good challenge, though, from number 19, which is Nicholas Glavan. He wins the throw. Good bit of play by Glavan.
Good commit from both players. It's been a pretty good game so far, with the Knights having a few opportunities on goal to even take the lead after that Hume City early goal.
Yeah, it certainly has been. Certainly on the way here today, we're not expecting it to be maybe the best match of the season with not so much to play for today, but it's certainly proved to be otherwise so far, which is quite heartening for us. As Jurcic plays it inside to Nikola Jurkovic. Just switches it out to that right-hand side. And it's Bryce out there playing it into the area. It's Tardio. He loses it, though. And Brown now, as he won the free kick there, he's won another free kick, so certainly using all of his experience to win a couple of handy fouls in the last few minutes, almost on the same blade of grass.
Well, he's the one that they'd like to bounce off coming out of their defence, and trying to get him to bounce it off back into the midfield and then trying to start those counter-attacks, which Hume City score a lot of counter-attacking goals this year. It's when sides sit behind them and sort of block them off a little bit is where they really struggle, but they're always a side that if they get the ball quick, they go from defence to attack very quickly, and with that open space, that's where they really can be devastating.
And that's how they got on the score sheet today with that charge down the right-hand side. But apart from that, it's been slim pickings for Hume City today. So we don't know if it's going to be a Doherty Cup hangover or not for the boys from Broadmeadows. Here's Albano. Good little turn from him. That was excellent. And a great ball through to Mohammed Awad. He comes down the left-hand side. Comes into the area. He's looking for options. Back to Albano. Can he get a shot away? That's a great tackle by Hewitt. Very timely.
She had to time that centimetre perfect.
He sure did.
Just inside the box too, but gets it away.
Albano's back on the ball again for the Knights. He's got nothing on his left at the moment. He's played that against his Hume City opponent. Here's Nikola Jurkovic. He's got a bit of time. Glavan. Jurkovic again. Comes forward. He's got options to his right. Here's a wad. Bounced off his inside of his left and right feet. Challenged by Lazaretti's there against Bryce. And it's going to be a throw to Hume City, just in front of the merchandise stand there.
The merchandise stand all up in one, thinking it was going to be a Knights throw there. So it seemed like it was a pretty solid deflection off Aidan Bryce, who is another one who's been playing a lot of centre back this year, is enjoying that opportunity to play right back today.
So with that change to a back three, just a slightly different role for him today. He's been able to get forward. He enjoyed getting forward here against Adelaide United recently, getting on the score sheet in that big occasion in front of around 4,500 people. So it
was a good header too.
It was something of a striker sort of quality, really. Here's Franich coming forward. Jurkovic. Franich just goes long this time. Can he get it over the back for Tadio? It was well away, though, by Hayden Tennant. Bowler. Now for Stephen Hill. You can see these players, they look like drowned rats out there already. Here's Dalic, a touch for him. He hasn't been involved too much so far. And here's Dixon's got heaps of space now. He can run at Jurcic. Goes inside onto his left and back onto his right. He's in the area now. Can he get another low cross again? He drilled it across. But it was a good save in the end by Jordan Givkins to parry that one well away from the waiting attackers. You have to be careful when you've got the likes of Mitch Cooper lurking around the 6-yard box not to parry that one into a dangerous place. I thought Mohammed Awad might have won a free kick there, but play goes on.
The Knights get it back and can keep going on this attack.
Here's Awad now. Tadio. Mikulic has been brought down unceremoniously just on the edge of the area.
Stephen Hewitt just couldn't time this one perfectly, but again, Hume City, if they push the numbers up the field so much, it's those little mistakes in midfield, they leave them pretty exposed going the other way.
That's right. The fullback's playing very high, so the defensive midfielders certainly have to do their share of defensive duties, and unfortunately there, Steve Hewitt couldn't quite time that one. And it's going to be a good chance for the Knights. So we were saying before, in these sort of slippery conditions, it's often good to fire in the low free kick. If you try and loft it, you can almost slip over yourself. As you can see, the Hume City substitutes are warming up on that far side behind the linesman. They look like they are dressed to go to the Antarctic. They've got the hoods on. It's pouring rain here at Knight Stadium now. Mikulic is standing over it. Mikulic blasts it. Oh, and it just goes to that right-hand post, and it was a good save by Weir in the end. Got down, very agile custodian, and he needed to use all of his agility to save that one, keep that one out and keep the score at 1-1. Corner for the Knights. Mohammed Awad swings it in, goes over to the back post. Target there was, I think, Gergic.
And that's just with Michael Weir, though. That's what you do in training. You get your wall set up exactly the way you want it, and he knows he's got room to get across to that shot. So he gets the timing absolutely perfect. He maps it out at training. I've seen him do it, and he knows if he gives that 2.5, that little bit of room on that one side, that he's got time to get down and get to it, and that's exactly what he did for that free kick.
So a good shot and a good save there in that passage of play. The Knights come forward again through Albano. He's so good at cutting it back with the outside of his right foot. There's Glavan switching the play. Jurkovic slides in, gets the ball, and here's Franich. Everyone back at the moment for Hume City. Glavan. He's been brought down by Brown and wins the free kick.
Again, just the Knights just quite well on top in this game so far. The change of tactics from the Doherty Cup is really working.
Yeah, looking good to me at the moment, I have to say, Chris. Here's a wide. Combining with Glovan. Here's Jurkovic, who's been very busy in defensive midfield today. Getting on the ball and distributing it left and right. Albano now. He stood up by Bowler. And now Jurcic coming down the left-hand side. Just a little right-footed cross onto the top of the 6. And the volleyed attempt is wide. It was worth an effort, but it was certainly not the best one I've seen from Caleb Mikulic.
He's got the technique. He's quite a gifted player, and I know the Knights are happy to have him back after he spent a bit of time in Austria over the last year, but he's one of the juniors to come through the system. As Hume are going to have to make a sub. It looks like George Howart's going to come on for Theo Markellis.
Yeah, so an early first half change here, just before 30 minutes. They've ticked over as well, so not too sure what's going on there. Hopefully Theo Markellis is okay. We'll have to send down our touchline reporter to keep an eye on him and see if there's any ice packs going on. But the big man George Howard, he comes onto the park, so maybe possibly a tactical change, Chris, even.
Well, I don't think that we'll be able to get somebody to volunteer in these conditions to be sideline reporter. I think it'd be one of the worst jobs on a Sunday afternoon, but he looked pretty ginger when he was walking to the bench, and straight away Morris Luna, the Hume City physio, is checking on him, so it might have just a slight knock or a slight injury for Theo, but hopefully it's not too bad with the finals on the horizon.
That's right. Hume City sitting in 6th spot at the moment, so they've got a match next week against Kingston City. They'll be at home for that one to round out the home and away season in round 26. Here's Tardieu looking for the first time pass. Doesn't quite come off. Brown. He turns it over. Jurkovic with the switch. Out there to Aidan Bryce. Here's a wide. It's a good challenge by Hewitt this time. And now he's won the free kick. So Hewitt involved in free kicks going either direction.
It's a big opportunity for George Howard too, because he hasn't had the best of seasons. First half of the year at South Melbourne, was unable to get on the score sheet. The only goals he scored this year are 2 goals against Bentley in the FFA Cup. So still looking for that first NPL Victoria goal for Hume City, but he's going to have plenty of time. But that's a poor pass by Hewitt.
Here's Albano for the Knights. He's got time to play it to a wide. A wide looks to get onto his right-hand side. He's got options out to his right. And good defending by Matthew Lazaridis there on that occasion to block the attempted cross from Caleb Mikulic. It's going to be Aidan Bryce to attempt to take the long throw. I think he might need a towel almost to dry the ball first. No, he's just going to go short. It's probably a smart idea. Looks like Jurkovic went down there, but play goes on. Hume can attack. As Chris was saying, they're dangerous on the break. But the Knights get back to win the ball well, and it was actually the man up top there who got back to win that ball, which is Adrian Tardieu, and the goal scorer today. So a good bit of defensive work for him, which will impress his coach, Marian Svitkovic.
Well, Hume City trying to absorb these attacks and start the counter-attacks, but, gee, they've been on the back foot since scoring.
That they certainly have. Now, here's Cooper. Can he get Hume forward again here, perhaps? He's got Brown, Brown's out on the left-hand side now. He's going to run at Franich, but he's held onto the ball too long, and he allowed Aidan Bryce to come sliding in and win the ball back.
What an exceptional tackle that was.
That was very well timed, I have to say. Up the line to Albano. He looks to go around his opponent, which is Wilson. Albano, what can he do? Looks to go left and right, and he just plays an attempted low cross, and it was blocked behind for a corner to Melbourne Knights. As Albano wanders over to take it quickly. He's got a wad in support, and Stephen Hewitt comes over and says, no, I'm going to stand right here so you can wait a moment first before you take this one. Now the big men are forward for the Knights. Gergic is in the area, as is Bryce. It's dinked in at the back post. Gergic gets a head on the ball, and still the ball's live in there. Jurkovic got the shot, and in the end it bounces safely into the hands of Michael Weir. The Knights are in attack again now. Jurkovic. Brown with the challenge.
But that's a bit of the danger with the way the Hume City want to play. Michael, we wanted to get the quick release going, start those counter-attacks, but the throw really wasn't on. Intercepted, but in the end Hume will be able to get out of trouble.
It's probably a difficult opportunity to play counter-attacking football. It looks like the corner flags are blowing sort of to slightly towards the left of your screen and a little bit towards this near side as well, diagonally across the pitch. So Hume going into the wind and a heavy pitch as well. It's pretty hard to get the ball up the park that quickly. So they're trying to play it forward at the moment as we speak.
And Knight Stadium hasn't been in the best of condition this year, but they've really done a lot of work to get it up for that FFA Cup game. So it's been able to hold on to the weather and the plenty of rain that we've had here this afternoon quite well. Yeah,
it certainly was looking very smick that night for the round of 32 match against Adelaide United. We've got an injury here for the Melbourne Knights, so we're going to have a slight delay.
Aidan Bryce is the one down, and was struggling a little bit for the last couple of minutes, and when the ball went out, took the opportunity to sit down and get some medical treatment.
So we've got a few defensive options on the bench, including Corey Sewell today, so we'll just see what Marijan Cvitkovic decides to do here. But they will hope that he can probably run out the rest of the first half. He's back on his feet. Just gingerly trots away. Players out there jogging on the spot to keep warm at the moment. Certainly a lot of rain coming in the window of our commentary box here, Chris, so we might need to call for the mop at half-time in here, I think, almost.
I might get the duct tape out, the gaffer tape out at half-time and try to seal up the little gap that we've got with the XLR cable, but much rather being here and out down the pitch with the boys at the moment.
Talk about being prepared. Yes, well, that's right. I totally agree. Now, Albano, good challenge by Hewitt to win it back. Wilson. Now, here's Lazaridis.
That's the thing about Melbourne. Speaking with this 3 o'clock kickoff earlier in the day, I thought the sunshine might be in our way today. That's definitely not the case as Melbourne's 4 seasons in one day continues. So we see at the moment Aidan Bryce is still off the field, so the Knights are still down to 10 men temporarily while he receives some treatment from the physios over there, just in front of the players' race. They haven't got any substitutes warming up for the moment, so hopefully they might be confident he's going to continue.
Here's Dalic looking to play it across. Mikulic is actually back getting the footy in there, doing his defensive duties and doing very well, getting the ball up the field to Albano. Albano holds off 2 men, but then eventually loses it. And Hume City come forward again. Here's Dalic. Dalic is in the area. Just a little drag back. He's got options out there to his left. And there's the long-range shot there that come flying in. It was George Howard, the substitute. And the big man went bang there, but it was well off target. Nothing for Jordan Gibkins to worry about.
I think that's the reason why Tardio and Albano are playing up top with each other. So when the Hume wingers do bomb on, they're running into those channels. So as soon as the Knights get it back, they're happy to have those no-look passes into the channels because they know that Tardio or Albano will be making those runs.
So, yeah, smart play by the Knights that way. Playing with forwards in wide positions. Very clever. Very clever approach to teams with very attacking fullbacks. As Aidan Bryce is coming back onto the field, he does look a little bit ginger still, but he's back out there, and that's the main thing. As the weather just gets worse and worse here at Knight Stadium, as well done to all the fans who are in position here watching this match because it's not great conditions. Fortunately, the Mark Viduka stand is sheltering them quite nicely over there.
Bit of a contrast to yesterday at Avenger Park where it was beautiful sunshine but not much undercover seating, so luckily the wet weather didn't hit them yesterday.
It's worked out well that way, I think. Here's Mikulic. Just twisting and turning and almost winning the free kick, but play goes on. It's good skill there by Dalic. Now the switch comes out this side to Danny Dixon. Plays it into Brown's feet. Looks like Dalic has gone down behind play, but nothing doing. He looks a little bit distressed about it all, but he's back on his feet. I think the crisis is over there. Now Gergic has gone to ground and gotten up again as well. Now the ball comes forward here looking for Cooper, and that ends up running out of play. So as we're saying, that wind, it's sort of favouring the left of screen and slightly blowing also towards this near side of the pitch as you're viewing from home. So that one was certainly helped out by that breeze. As Luke Jurcic looks to take the throw to get us back underway late in this first half. We're at still 1-1 here at Knight Stadium. 2 early goals. Lost by Cooper for Hume City and then Tardio for the Knights. Here's a Watt. He's got some space here and he can run at the defence. Plays it out to Albano. Albano's wide on the right. He's got Tardio in the middle. And plays it back. Here's Mikulic. Just puts his foot on the ball. Looks for his options. Jurkovic. Jurcic. Goes the shot. Speculative one, and it just zipped over the bar. It was certainly ambitious from that distance, but the line was good. Just needed a little bit more dip on it for the left fullback.
Wasn't a bad effort. Hume City did back off on him, so it allowed him to have that shot. You never know in these conditions too.
If you've got that much time, you might as well have a go. Slippery ball.
Another good moment from the Knights, who...
Certainly points decision so far in the first half. You'd have to favour them in this match, which still sits at 1-1. As Hume are just sort of stuck in that half of the field most of the time. We'll see if that changes in the second half when they perhaps there is more advantage to that left of screen than we realise. Here's Jurcic.
Yeah, we've seen that with the last couple of goal kicks, that the wind's been able to hold the ball up a little bit.
Here's Dalic now looking to go around Franich. And Franich just puts it behind, and it's a corner for Hume, so they can try and get some scoring opportunity here. Just late in the half, while it's still 1-1. Looks like our camera lens is getting saturated up there.
And I feel sorry for the cameraman who has to sit with the windows open above us.
Yes, we've certainly scored the better deal there, I think, Chris. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Hewitt to take the corner. Even our window is covered in water now. It's hard to see what's happening out there. Hewitt with the corner goes low in towards the penalty spot. And it was a shot that was blocked. The shot was by Dixon, actually. It goes over the back post, and it looks like Albano can bring the ball away. So the crisis averted for the Knights there. It looked dangerous just for a moment.
Timely interception that by Ivan Grigic. Just got a little bit of a head to that to direct it away from Paul Wilson, who was sending himself to try to put Hume City back in front.
Crucial touch as the central defender's eyes lit up there just for a second. Wasn't to be, though, for Wilson. Here's Lazaridis. Back to Bowler. Bowler plays it up the line. There's no one there, and it just runs out for a throw to the Knights.
Interesting to see what things Hume City can try to do to change it in the second half. They have pretty much played the same style all year. They've really stuck to their philosophy. Knights are a side that are quite happy week in, week out. They do make these subtle changes. And obviously with the changes that they've made in formation, it's really helped them today, but Hume City have been one of the better defensive sides this year, so even when they're up against a bit of pressure, they've been pretty resilient.
See, at the moment, they've actually just got Bowler splitting between the two centre halves and just making a bit more space in different area of the field. As the ball come across there from Dalic, but Howard was the target, but it was too far ahead of George Howard. How much George Howard would have loved dearly to get a touch on that ball and find the back of the net.
There's a really good run there from Dalic in between the full-back and the centre-back. And that no-look pass, just getting in across the 6-yard box. Just George Howard was a little bit on his toes early in that move, not expecting it. And if he did expect it, he probably would have been able to get to the end of it. But that's what happens when you're a little bit out of form. You second-guess a little bit, but Hume City would love to see George Howard be able to at least hit the score sheet before the final start, just to give him a bit of confidence. And
that's right, he can add an extra dimension to this team in the finals time if they need it. As you were saying, Chris, certainly plan A has been the go all season for Hume City, and they might need a plan B come finals time. Here's Bowler on the ball. As we were saying, he's just sitting in between the two centre halves at the moment. He's the defensive midfielder. Here's Hewitt. This is Tennant. Got a little bit of time. Looks to pick his pass. Goes short in the end. And Howard lost the ball there. It was a good bit of defending by Gergic.
Hume City aren't happy with their young centre back there because Hewitt went short and that brought Jurcic towards him. That left the space over the top, which Hume were screaming out for that pass to go over the top.
Certainly didn't make full use of it. Speaking of making full use, here's a wad with a shot. Made the most of his opportunity, and it was a second effort there to gather that one in from Michael Weir. He was full stretch on the pitch, so it was a good effort from Awad. It was from some distance too. So the long-range shooting has been a feature of this match so far, and I presume it will continue to be in the second half. Tennant goes back to Weir, and Weir just chips it up the field. It's cut it by Jurcic. It was Glavan playing it across the pitch. Here's Caleb Mikulic. He's in the area. He's got Lazaridis defending him, and Cooper, the tag team. And the tag team wins out 2-1. And Hume can come forward on the break. This is George Howard coming up the line. He's looking to combine there with, I think it's Dalic on that far side.
Franich has done well there, just pulled him back, not allowing him to play the ball back to Howard.
If you're going to give away the foul, it's probably not a bad area of the park to do so, just on the halfway line.
Saw a lot of these tactical fouls from Heidelberg yesterday, trying to do the same thing against Avondale, not allowing them to start those counter-attacks, and we've seen that from the Knights a few times today as well, with James Brown being fouled a few times in midfield where Hume have numbers forward of the ball. So it's a smart little tactic that way, and if it's not too subtle, you won't get a yellow card. And
we haven't seen any yellows yet today. As the flag is up for offside. There was a slight delay, not quite as long as the delay at the Women's World Cup, but it is offside.
It's Franich.
Franich in the armband again today. Looking to play the short pass. Bryce looking for the goal scorer, Tardio. Tardio keeps it in nicely. Bowler's defending him. And Lazaridis looks to go through between the two of them, and he's still going. Tardio plays into Albano's there, but it's over his head. Good bit of play by Tardio. Took on two opponents and went right through the middle of them. Not every day you see that.
Oh, that was exceptional play. The confidence of youth too, just a little silent through. Just couldn't find the right pass to Albano. He made a good run across the 6-yard box, but instead of putting it on the ground, he just clipped it in the air and it went over the top.
So he narrowly misses out on adding an assist to his earlier goal, but his confidence is clearly very high to be trying those sort of things, and good on him. Adrian Tardio, hope he can keep that going in the second half as Dalic runs out of room there and goes sliding in front of us. You can just see in your vision there how slippery and wet that pitch is. These players are all wringing wet out there, including our match referee, Alejandro Azcura.
He's one of the real solid referees in this league. He lets a little bit of the physical stuff go a little bit too, so I know the players quite like that, and he's quite a very consistent referee. So
certainly a characteristic of this NPL Victoria competition. It is the physical competition. It's officiated in that spirit today, but speaking of physical, that was teamed a little bit too much by George Howard. He just gave a big shove in the back of Nikola Jurkovic, and the Knights have taken this one quickly and caught Hume City off guard perhaps. Here's Awad, turning sharply. Still he goes. Awad, he's got options to left and right, but in the end it goes to Lazaridis, who brings it away. But Jurkovic is on the ball now. Mohamed Awad, cross in by Mikulic. Header away by Bowler. Jurkovic in there again. Still Jurkovic. Now Mikulic with the cross. He's blazed it away, but I think it might have already been out anyway. But you can just see there the way the Knights are setting up. They've got that defensive midfield pairing, and they're playing quite high up the park and winning it back. So we've got a bit of a stoush occurring now between a couple of sets of players. George Howard's been involved there, and I think it might be Aidan Bryce.
Well, Nikola
Jurkovic.
Nikola Jurkovic always irritating the Hume City sides as we get towards half-time. Boys, go have yourself a drink, try to dry off a little bit, and leave the fisticuffs a little bit alone.
So I think as soon as the whistle went there from Azcura, the players were off the pitch in a flash. No point hanging around in the rain any longer as the Melbourne Knights substitutes come out to warm up on the right-hand side of the pitch here. And so as we leave you for the halftime break, it's 1-1 here at Knights Stadium. Goals Scored firstly by Mitch Cooper for Hume City and then by Adrian Tardio. Both very early in that first half. Thank you for joining us during this first half here at Knight Stadium. Myself, Steve Curtin, and my co-commentator, Chris Gleeson. We will bid you farewell for the next 10 to 15 minutes, and we look forward to your company for the second half here from Knight Stadium.
changes.
Hello, welcome back to Knight Stadium as the sun is just trying to peek through the clouds and the rain is still falling. Here, it's 1-1. Thank you for joining us for this second half of this penultimate round of the NPL Victoria season. Myself, Steve Curtin, and alongside me, Chris Gleeson.
Yes, welcome back for the second half, which we both thought the Knights were probably the better side, created more opportunities, but Hume City, well, they got an opening chance early where Dixon's cross was smothered by Gifkins, but it fell into the path of Mitch Cooper. And Adrian Tardio was able to get into the box and place a nice, well-worked move past Michael Weir in goal. So a couple of early goals in this game. Michael Weir was tested from distance a few times, but we'll wait to see how things sort of change in the second half, with Hume City going to stay with their same sort of normal system or try to change things to sort of get a bit more of a foothold in the second half.
Here's a wide looking to play the ball through, but it's cleared away well by that Hume City defence. Here's Lazaridis dinking it up the line. Just runs too long for George Howard though. He stuck out the long leg and couldn't reel it back in. Here's Nikola Jurkovic. He's really enjoyed playing in this defensive midfield role as opposed to his usual fullback today. He's been one of the stars for the Knights so far. And Glavan involved there, and eventually Jurkovic goes to ground, and here comes Hume. An early raid in this second half. There's a back heel there, heard a voice, but I'm not sure if it was the best option. Eventually it just runs out in front of the Hume City technical area, so eventful opening minute in that first moments of the second half here at Knight Stadium.
There's a real crunching challenge there on Jurkovic to get the ball back for Hume, and just Dalic, as you said, just heard the voice, and it was the right idea to try to do the back heel, but Luke Jurčić was back defending and was able to clear.
Here's Howard on the ball now, so he was a first half substitute around the 30th minute mark, coming on to replace Theo Markellis. Now Matthew Lazaridis, he might have won the free kick there, crafty work from him. He sidestepped Aidan Bryce and hit the floor. He says, yeah, well, how about that? And it's going to be a good position to take this free kick as well for Hume City. So the Knights will need to be on their toes here as Jordan Givkins will look to organise his wall of, at the moment, there's 3 players lining up to take part in the wall. He might need a fourth, perhaps.
Especially with Danny Dixon over the ball here. He also can strike it with a left foot and a right foot, so he's sitting up with a left foot option, but
certainly a rare skill to have, that dead ball specialty from both feet. And it looks like I fancy that Hewitt might take this one on the right boot. As the wall's lined up, 4 in the wall. Hewitt with the free kick, and it's on the roof of the net. Good effort by Hewitt, curled it nicely. Held his footing on the slippery conditions, and it just landed on the roof of the net, so it dipped, but just not quite early enough, but a decent effort from Steve Hewitt there. So still 1-1 here at Knight Stadium, as we're saying. The sun is almost starting to come out now, and some more pleasant conditions for these players. As we're saying, it looked like drowned rats after about 10 minutes in this match, as the Knights can build up play through Joey Franich, the skipper. Comes inside to Caleb Mikulic. Looks to use his strength to turn. He's done well there, Mikulic. Still he goes. Out that side there to Jurčić. Jurčić's pass is off target. His bowler's first to get there. Back to Weir. Hume City should have the advantage of the breeze this half, so we'll see if they can get out of their half a bit more than the first half. Now here they come down the right-hand side anyway, is Dalic. Plays it in low. Bryce is first to get there and just side foots it away nicely. Steve Hewitt there. Dixon looking to change direction, and he's lost the ball and he's given away a cynical foul there. And He's also kicked the ball away in the process, but
well, he's tested the referee there.
Really has.
To either give the yellow card for the pullback, which is, as you said, was quite cynical and a real professional foul, and then pretending to bend over to pick the ball up and just dribbling it away for a little bit. So
that's the old futsal trick free kick, that one, I think, Chris. I think I've tried that one a few times. Not fooled anybody with it, though. Bryce. In the end, Alejandro Azcuro didn't brandish the yellow card, which he possibly could have. Saving on paperwork. He might have to catch a flight tonight after the game, perhaps.
You can already see here in the second half, Hume City are pressing a lot higher. Trying to allow Stephen Hewitt to join the attacks a little bit more, with Bowler sitting a bit more deep. But
Hewitt's pass there to Cooper, and Cooper just couldn't quite trap that one. And if he had, he would have been favoured to double his scoring tally today. So Cooper he went to try and control it with his right boot there, and he maybe needed to use his left. But it was a good little ball through by Steve Hewitt. As Knights look to come forward through frontage again. This time he goes long. His glove hand. Jurcic. This is Albano wide on the left. Looks to go past Tennant, but he gets a good tackle in there. Does Hayden Tennant. Very timely. The Knights will take the throw in an advanced position. So we're hearing some nice serenades and piano accordions going to our left-hand side here, Chris.
We got the Croatian music going here in what is the final home game for the Melbourne Knights.
Here's Albano looking to keep this one in, and he's kept it in, but sprung back away by Howard. It was off the chest there of Gergic, and now Hume can come forward. Outside of the foot, switched pass there out towards Lazaridis, and it had a bit of spin, I think, on it, and it eluded Lazaridis, like something we might have seen at Lord's last night, perhaps, and the Knights will take the throw.
We've definitely seen weather like this at Lord's this week.
Oh, certainly. We're lucky to get a result in that match, I think, now.
But Danny Dixon's up to 3 on the nutmeg count as well.
He certainly had a busy day. Some of them have been a case of luck or fortune, and some of them have been a bit more premeditated, perhaps. Now here he is again. He just hoofs the ball diagonally up the field towards Dalic, and Bryce gets the head in there first. Now Mikulic has time to turn, to show his skill and come away with the ball. He's brought down. Play's waved on. And the Knights can come forward again, and Albano's just had his foot stepped on there, I think, and he's lost the ball. Here's Hewitt now. Dixon. Now Howard. Howard playing in a bit of a deeper role since coming on, so he's sort of been a like-for-like change with Marcellus, playing in that same position where I thought when he come on he might have been pushed a bit further forward, the big number 9. And we've got a situation here where it is Albano. He's just sat on the floor still. He's not happy with that challenge he received before, and the physiotherapist is racing onto the pitch.
Yeah, just one of those ones on a really cold day where Hewitt's gone back, won the ball, but he's also taken a chunk of Albano's foot with him.
And if Albano's forced off here, it'll be a big loss for the Knights. He's such an important player, but the board goes up to confirm that he will be leaving the park. It's going to be the youngster Luka Jurkovic coming onto the field to play alongside his brother in the senior team here at the Knights for the first time, I believe. So a proud moment for Dad there, no doubt.
Let's see with the other time you said at Kingston where Nikola Jurkovic was sent off much earlier than before Luka got the chance to go on. But
mixed emotions for the Jurkovic family that night, I imagine. Now Weir has the ball, throwing out to Lazaridis. Smikulic almost got there first, but in the end, Lazaridis still he goes. Bryce put the arm across. Lazaridis still goes. Now he's gone down. And we're going to see the first card of the afternoon. And it goes to Aidan Bryce, who looks on in disbelief. But he certainly had 2 bites there, or 2 nibbles, could you say, at Matthew Lazaridis, who's won the free kick out wide on the left-hand side for Hume City. So you have to say this half, Hume City have been a little bit more proactive, and it's been to their advantage, whereas the first half it was really all the Knights pushing high up the park and dictating terms. Now Hewitt's going to take this free kick. The big men are all forward. He's going to aim it towards the just behind the penalty spot, perhaps. In it comes. It's well away by the Knights' defence and then smashed up the field by Mikulic. Now Tennant can just regather possession and just calm things down. Here's Michael Weir.
It's been a good player for Hume City, Hayden Tennant, since breaking into the lineup. He was in the best and fairest winner last year in a difficult year for Hume.
Here's Dalic looking to control it on his knee. Still he goes. Dalic drags it back and underneath, and yeah, still in possession now. Here's Hewitt receiving it off Dixon. Certainly hope you can hear that piano accordion music at home just to accompany you through this second half. We're both enjoying it here. Last home game of the season here at Knight Stadium. Next week, the Knights will be off to play Dandenong Thunder at Declan Stadium. That will be 3 p.m. next Sunday, same time as this kickoff. All games at 3 o'clock next Sunday, so it will make for an interesting finish for the positions that will be up for grabs going into the final round of NPL Victoria for 2019 as we lead into the finals the following week.
Watch out for possibly a few innovations from Sportscast next week with all games kicking off. Maybe a possibility of I've been hearing of picture-in-picture of other games if a goal flies through. So we'll wait to see what Sportscast, who have been excellent contributors for NPL Victoria this season with helping with the streaming of games. See what they can do as in the final round as we then head towards finals.
Yes, wouldn't that be fantastic? A bit of a goals live type experience for people at home next Sunday afternoon.
We just need the sound effects like they do in the FFA Cup, like the goal.
I really do enjoy those.
Well, if not, we can make them ourselves. We can on the air next week.
That sounds like a good idea. And if that doesn't work, you can make them at home from on the couch. Here's Jerkovic. Franic. Mikulic. And Lazaretti's the 1-2 with Cooper. He just runs out of room, though. Throw into the Knights.
He's done a great job as Matt Lazaretti since crossing over from a long association with Pascoe with Gideon Sweet being injured for most of the second half of the year with a very serious ankle injury. He's started the year as more of an attacking option, but filled into that left-back position quite well for Hume.
Yes, he's earned his spot there, bided his time, and he's done very well since coming into the starting lineup as a regular. There's Joey Franic switching the play, those dazzling yellow boots. Looking for another player in yellow boots here, which is Tardio. Tardio's in the area, plays an early ball across. But in the end, it was only Michael Weir who was there to gather that one up. Now here's Howard looking to play it through, and it's a decent ball for James Brown. There's a danger man last week, and he's gone for the cross instead of the shot this time. Scored that cracking goal last week, and maybe he should have gone for the shot there because the cross to Cooper was, well, it left a little bit to be desired.
I do like the way that George Howard has started this second half. He's gone back and helped his midfield out. He's won a few tackles in midfield, and his passing's been quite good. That was an excellent pass to release James Brown. It
certainly was. Getting used to his seeing him in his earlier days as an out-and-out number 9, and now he's playing as sort of, I was saying a number 10, almost a number 8 there now. He's dropped back even a little bit deeper and distributing the ball, and it's, that's got to be good for his confidence, getting on the ball, getting involved. It's certainly a hard part if you're on the bench and you're coming on as a striker, you're not getting enough touches to build up confidence. As he goes up for this ball now, but it's well won by Jerkovic, which was Luca. We'll have to specify the first name now that the brothers are both on. Might have been a handball by Lazaretti's there, but he's allowed to continue. Brown playing it through, and it's the flag gone up for offside there on the far side. Yes. It was raised earlier. There was a little bit of a delay before Alejandro Azcura blew the whistle. It was Mitch Cooper who had straight forward.
Just checking over at Lakeside Stadium and South Melbourne nil, Altona Magic nil. Altona Magic, well, they've had a good start for their first year in the NPL being promoted. They've suffered a lot of injuries.
They certainly have. They've played some good football along the way. It's been a wild ride for them. There's a change taking place for the Knights. It looks like Glavan has been substituted for Corey Sewell. And Sewell might even be playing, usually a left back. Looks like he's going to play the midfield role now next to Nikola Jurkovic.
So particularly over the last 6 weeks, Sewell has sort of transitioned into that central midfield role a little bit as well too. As we said, a lot of the fullbacks have been playing midfield today. Sewell was pretty much started doing that about 6 weeks ago, but a very versatile player, and he's been a really good signing since coming over from Bulleen last year. He offers plenty on his set-piece delivery too, does Corey Sewell.
Now, a good little bit of play by Jurcic there, and here comes Nikola Jurkovic, Caleb Mikolic. He's got Bryce on the overlap to his right. He's still there, Bryce. He's still calling for the ball. He might get it now. It's a shot by Mikolic. It's a cracking shot and a great save by Weir.
Well, it was going to destroy the Spiders up there in the top corner, but Michael Weir anticipated it well. But you can't back off Caleb Mikolic. He's got that in his locker, and Michael Weir's done really, really well to get that away from the goal.
A spectacular hit, Aidan Bryce, even though he was ignored, still gave a round of applause. Such was the quality on that shot. It will be Mikolic wandering over to take the resulting corner after his shot. That was really fired in at that top left corner. It had some real zip on it. Needed Michael Weir to be right on his toes. Put that one away. Now Mikolic will swing in the corner. Mikolic. And it's bouncing around in the penalty area. Sewell's in there. Here's Bryce. Bryce with a shot. It's over the bar. Chance for the big central defender who's playing as a wing-back today. And he's just blazed that one on his left foot high over the bar.
He just couldn't get out of his feet, just couldn't get that little bit of room to be able to strike through the ball. And in the end with the left well over the top. A good moment there from the Knights. So that Hume started a bit better this second half. Knights definitely on top in the first. So the one thing of the Knights that's really meant that they're going to be missing finals this year is they do have these little lapses in concentration in games where they concede quite pretty soft goals, which has been a real Achilles heel for them this year. They had no real intensity on that first goal that Cooper scored, where Danny Dixon was able to get towards the box out wide quite easily with his run being untracked. But those are little moments that have held the Knights back this year.
Here's a wad looking to play the ball through to his left. And the shot there is blocked. His bowler comes away with it. First time pass by Cooper. It's flown out there towards James Brown. James Brown's got a little bit of space here to operate. He's up against Gugic. Comes back to Dixon. Dixon with the cross to the back post looking for Lazaridis. Away well by Bryce. And Tardier with the little first time pass. And eventually Mikolic's pass runs out ahead of Mohamed Awad, who was chasing to get that one. But bowler goes over to take the throw back to his goalkeeper and captain, Michael Weir.
Just time and time again, the chemistry that Mitch Cooper and James Brown have, they've spent a lot of time playing with each other too since the Newcastle United Jets days.
They certainly do like to follow each other around the club scene, those two.
Spent time at Nunawading, but last year Mitch Cooper spent at Green Gully, but they found their way back to Hume City this year.
I'm pretty sure that was maybe like a 2-for-1 deal, that one. As Hume's won the free kick. As bowler.
He's missed a lot of NPL football recently as Mitch Cooper, apart from the last couple of weeks for being on international duty in the islands.
He's got that 2019 Pacific Games group stage where he scored 5 goals in 5 games.
It's not a bad part of the world to be in there, play a bit of football for your country and score a few goals and enjoy a bit of sunshine.
Particularly during a Melbourne winter.
He's timed that absolutely perfect, and congratulations for Mitch Cooper playing international football.
Now here's Luka Jurkovic, the substitute in the second half. His cross is cut out though. Howard. Cooper with the first time pass, the man we just spoke about. Howard looks to play it down the right hand side. So that one's got way too much on it, even for someone as quick as James Brown.
I spoke about how Howard started the second half in his passing, but that one, it was quite a simple pass just to make through. Hume City had that overlap out wide, and opportunity gone.
Here's a touch for Harry Sewell. He certainly stands out. His shirt looks a lot drier than and his kit looks a lot drier than the rest of the players out there. White shorts are still white. Speaking of another substitute there is Luka Jurkovic. Back to Sewell. Sewell's got some space here. He still goes on his left foot. Plays a little pass in behind. In the end, it needed to be tucked behind by Hayden Tennant because Luka Jurkovic was going to be bearing down on that one if it hadn't been put behind. Corner to the Knights.
Great bit of skill there by Corey Sewell. Let it open up for him on the left foot. You thought he was just going to strike it, but in the end he's pretty good with left or right foot, Corey Sewell, but saw the run of Jurkovic and tried to feed him in, but Knights stay on the attack with this corner.
So he looked to maybe shoot with the right, then pulled onto the left, and then just playing a little through ball. Now it's going to be Mikulic to take the in-swinging corner. All the big men are forward. Here's Mikulic, just dinks it in. Sewell's in there, and it just goes up and over, just over Michael Weir's crossbar as he jumps up and hangs off there like it's a set of monkey bars on a school playground.
Luka Jurkovic was the one who got that final touch there. It didn't know much about it. It sort of missed the players in front of him and sort of hit him, then him trying to direct it towards goal. But another opportunity there for the Knights. Hume almost get themselves in trouble playing out from the back.
Very short from the back there. There's a good bit of play there by Howard, taking it on the chest and playing it through to Cooper. And now we've got Lazaridis on the overlap. With a low cross. Sorry, pardon me. Low cross there towards, it was Dalic. In fact, it was Brown, but
they were crying out for that cross. Hume City have broken past the Melbourne Knights backline a few times today, and just that final ball has been lacking, but that was right on the money, and Brown's shot was able to go towards the goal, but Gifkins made a great save.
It was a great save by Gifkins. So a good bit of play by Lazaridis.
Just looking at the replay too, the Brown shot did take a deflection, so it's great for Gifkins to stand tall and only go down when it got a bit closer to him.
Yeah, it makes the save even better. Here's Wilson. Looks to pick his pass. There's good positioning there. As the Knights can come away with the ball. Franich plays it long up towards Tardio. Here's Bryce. There's Nikola Jurkovic. Just does a nice little 180 there in the middle of Knight Stadium and comes away with the ball. Still he goes. And he's gone down almost acrobatically. And referee Azkura says, play on, thanks. And Brown will win the free kick this time against Bryce.
I think with the referee in the middle, if you think you go down a bit theatrically, they're the ones you don't tend to get.
And that was certainly the case there, it seemed like.
So there's some times where you probably think, yeah, it probably is a foul, but he's made it look a lot worse than what it is, and the referee might not get those ones. So it's very imperative with this referee to, if you go down, make sure you're going down for...
in a natural way.
Exactly right.
Now here's Dalic now, playing it out to the wide side, the right-hand side for Daniel Dixon. I think he's nutmegged his opponent again there. Gets onto his left foot. Dixon with a strike. It's wide. Oh, they're all just opened up for him there. And he had to go on the left-hand foot, the left foot, and it just went wide out towards that corner there down near the Knights social room. So the Knights get away with that one, and still 1-1 here, midway through the second half at Knight Stadium.
Another little cheeky nutmeg, as you said, that just opened up the space in front of him, and no Knights players really showed any urgency to really throw himself in front of that, but in the end, lucky for the Knights, he sliced it wide.
So he certainly seems to be the nutmeg king out there today, Danny Dixon. Maybe not someone who you'd expect to be the nutmeg king, but he has been today. As perhaps, as we were saying, the tempo just dropped a little bit in the second half. It was a more frenetic first half in the pouring rain.
So both sides have been able to play a little bit more their normal type of football. Not as much slipping over as there has been.
And certainly just a bit more even this first half. And Givkins' clearance there was almost miscued. But he got away with it. That was okay. Lazaridis with the throw. Howard, he's had more touches there than he wanted to originally, I think. Now he looks to play a nice little reverse pass here looking for Dalic. Dalic has got to keep this one in. He goes the back heel and he does keep it in, but only to turn it back over to the Knights. And here's Nikola Jurkovic. And Mikulic. He can switch it right out this side. to Aidan Bryce. Inside to Sewell. A bit of space opening up between the lines for the Knights to play through.
And Howard's done well to come back and quickly close that down for Sewell.
He needed to. It was like a gaping hole there. And now, speaking of holes, there's plenty of room here for Jurkovic. Switching it out there to the left-hand side. There's Caleb Mikulic out there. Plays it. His actual cross is actually charged down, though, by Dixon. And Brown plays it through. And Dixon's on the surge here. It's a 2v1 situation. He's got Cooper in support. He goes himself and scores! Bangs it into the back of Jordan Gifkin's net. And how about that? We're talking about Hume City scoring on the break. And they've done it there. They've punished the Melbourne Knights with full ferocity. Danny Dixon getting forward from his fullback position. And bang.
Well, they've given them plenty of warning there because Hume City have continually broken and gotten in behind the Knights' defence. He had the chance to lay off Cooper, and I know Nick Heggie would be quite unhappy if he didn't score that, considering they could have basically walked the ball into the back of the net. But Danny Dixon, what a game he's having, and what a ferocious shot there against his former club. But that's the time we got to fail in midfield too, because when Hume City were breaking away, there was a chance to foul Dalic and not allow him to turn and open up the field for the Hume to go forward. And that was the time to do the foul. And if you don't foul in those tactical fouls in those areas, you can be opened up. And that's exactly what Hume City just did to regain their lead.
They did there. It was a 2v1. And yeah, Cooper got ignored in the area, but he still got heavily involved in the goal celebration. So he didn't show any dissent for being ignored, given that the ball did smash into the back of the net off the right boot of Danny Dixon. So he fired with the left foot previously, and then the right foot. Well, that came off very successfully. It's 2-1 now. So now it's up to the Knights to pull this one back. We have got Felipe Sanchez has also come onto the field now for the Knights. As the substitution occurred just after that goal. He's wearing the number 3 jersey. And I have to say he's even a fraction shorter than the Knights' previous shortest man on the field, which is the goal scorer Adrian Tardio. As they say, good things come in small packages, and here he is on the ball now. He's just lost out, though, to Hewitt, and he goes, keeping the pressure on. Now Bowler. This is Tennant. Howard. So we're saying playing in that quite deep role. He's in today. Bowler brings it forward. Now here's Sewell. Sewell playing as a midfielder today off the bench. And Caleb Mikulic slides in, and there's a bit of toing and froing on the ground there, and it's going to be a free kick to Hume City. Mikulic none too impressed. But referee Alejandro Azcura has pointed for a free kick to the boys in white shirts. I want to see a sub here as well, Chris.
Yeah, Mitch Cooper is going to be the one to make way. He's had an excellent game, got that goal early, took his chance well. We'll just wait to see who the substitute coming on will be. Looking over there, it might be young Harris.
There's Thomas Harris getting his chance.
Scored his first goal for Hume City in a senior shirt against South Melbourne quite a few weeks ago with a real rocket from outside the area. He's one of the real bright youngsters in NPL Victoria, one of the top scorers, if not still the top scorer in the under-20s across the league.
So earning his chance and getting it this afternoon in the second last round of the season. So it's a good time to get some action leading into the finals for young Harris.
It really is important for Hume City to get to the win, because they've still got the opportunity to try to get a home final in the first week of the finals, where 1 and 2 will get the week off, and number 3 will play 6, and 4 will play 5. So they've got that chance to get to 4th position. Bentley Green's dropping points last night, so it makes it a little bit tight to where the ladder is at the moment on the live ladder.
Certainly a home final at ABD would be a huge advantage for the boys from Broadmeadows. Here's Caleb Mikulic. We've got a Knights player down at the moment. Play's going to continue, though. Now we'll see the ball go out.
What an absolute solid challenge that was in there.
So we're just going to have a slight delay here while the physios come out.
We can just have a real look at this. It might be Jurcic.
It was just in the attempt of attempting to strike the ball. His shot was blocked.
It's so Luke Jurcic.
So it could be a bit of a lower leg or an ankle injury, perhaps.
Just going on the live ladder, Heidelberg with their late winner yesterday, 52 points. So they've got the premiership in their own hands next weekend. Avondale will be gutted to drop that late, 50 points. Green Gully, 44 points in third, looking once again their opportunity to be into a home final if they get the win next week. Bentley Greens a point last night, 43. Oakley Cannons 42, and Hume City on the live ladder of 41. So if Hume City do have any chance of getting a home final, they have to get 2 victories, one here and one next week against Kingston, and sort of hope results go their way. But after missing the finals the last couple of years, they'll be quite happy just to be in the top 6. Same as Green Gully, who finished in the promotion relegation spot last year. And they'll be playing finals football as well.
Here comes Bryce playing into the area. Chance now for Felipe Sanchez. Had a good side on goal, but just blasted it over.
There's good moments around the edge of the box. Sanchez has come on and been quite lively so far.
So these young players for the Knights getting their opportunity today, and despite being a goal down, they haven't dropped their heads, and they're still right in this match. As Weir plays a lofty goal kick towards Lazaridis. Bryce gets in there to contest for the ball, and here's the substitute, Harris. Now Bowler. Bowler still playing quite deep, almost between his 2 centre halves. Bryce wins the free kick. It was only a little niggly one, but was well spotted by referee Azkura all the same. We have only got around 15 minutes to go, plus a little bit of stoppage, so the Knights will need to get a wriggle on a little bit more. Here's Gugic.
Well, Melbourne Knights last week in the Doherty Cup put Hume City under all sorts of pressure in the last 15 minutes of that game as they were trying to chase a late goal. Hume City were quite resilient, but I want to see what the Knights throw in front of them. Hume City in that game did decide to go to a back 5 to try to hold on, but at the moment keeping their shape with the back 4. I'll wait to see if that changes as the game gets closer towards the end.
Now here's Bowler again. First time pass, cut out by Jurkovic, and it comes back to him eventually. Oh, good little pass there. Here's Sanchez. Oh, and the Knights just lose possession on the edge of the area there. But still goes Sanchez. He's twisting and turning in the area. Here's Luka Jurkovic. Back to his brother. Twists and changes direction out to Bryce.
It's great to see the youth get that opportunity in the NPL football towards the final couple of rounds, and Sanchez is definitely taking his chance at the moment.
And Tardio's pass is blocked. Sewell slides in. Now here's Harris. It looks like there'll be an offside decision there. Yes, we're in perfect position actually from here to see that one, and Stalic had moved just a fraction too soon there, Chris, and the flag went up on the far side from our assistant referee, which is Mark Tito.
It was James Brown who timed his run perfectly on the other side, so Harris probably just picked the wrong option there. But once again, if Hume City get that pass right, they're through on goal again, so Knights continually leaving themselves a little bit exposed at the back. Stranic gets the game restarted.
Here's Jurkovic sharing it with Gigic. I can tell you that Selwyn have got a 1-0 lead in their match, which was the 4 o'clock kickoff today against Altona. I believe it was Marcus Schroen with the goal.
I know that Avondale fans will be hoping South can get a bit of form as they take on Heidelberg next weekend and have the chance to deny their rivals the premiership if they can. Heidelberg looking to get their 3rd consecutive Premier's plate.
As Hume send the ball forward again, but it runs too long all the way through to Jordan Givkins. Here's Frontage, the skipper. He's got Bryce out here and right in front of our commentary position. Just keep it in there if you could. Yes. Using the full width of the pitch there. Good little pass up here to Tardio. Tardio turns and takes on his Hume City opponents, but it's a good challenge by Bowler. He got his body positioning just right to win the ball back. Runs through to Michael Weir. Distributes it by arm out to Matthew Lazaridis. Here's Wilson.
It's turned out to be an alright second half here with the weather. It's a bit of sun's peeking through the clouds.
Yeah, the pitch has dried up a little bit now. It's handled the conditions well, considering how much rain we had falling around between about 2:30 and 4 o'clock this afternoon. We had quite a lot. So the Knights still 1 goal down, looking to pull that one back. So come forward here as Bryce comes across the halfway line. His pass was looking for Caleb Miklich, but it was off target, and he raises his hand in apology. We're going to see a substitution here for Hume City.
It looks like it's going to be James Brown make way for Umut Buzdugan. So Umut Buzdugan normally comes into a central midfield role when he comes on off the bench, so might be that little bit of a tactical change where Hume might go a little bit more defensive as he's now chatting to Stephen Hewitt, which he will join in midfield.
I can see George Howard talking to Nick Hegarty. He might even pull out into a winger position now, perhaps even the tall man. Speaking of tall men, Michael Weir, Wilson, and Lazaridis.
What you will see now is
substitute.
Ben Bowler will probably sit very close to his centre-backs even more, and he might even join them to be that back five, which he has now.
He's almost playing like a sweeper between the two centre-halves there, Chris.
So they have made that change to the back five as Hume City. So always what it did last week was invite a lot of pressure onto them.
We'll see if it has that same effect today. There's a heavy challenge there. And there's a bit of dissent coming out of the spectators here, I think, because I believe the referee's given that free kick to Hume City, even though it was a Knights player that was clattered into while he was on the floor. But it's accidental and non-consequential, according to Alejandro Azcura.
Just gives Hume City the chance just to slow things down a little bit.
You have to say that they're controlling the tempo of the game quite well at the moment, since they went ahead 2-1. It's going to be Hewitt to take the free kick. We can barely read his number. He's just rolled in the turf there, and the white shirt is mainly turned to a shade of black or brown. Not a good day for wearing the white kit today, Hume City. There's Nikola Jurkovic. Really liked his game in defensive midfield today, and you just wonder if he could maybe get a permanent role in there going forward into next season, perhaps, depending on their midfield stocks at the Knights in 2020.
He's really played many positions, either be centre-back, full-back or in midfield, but I agree with you. I really like him as this defensive midfielder. Losing Tomislav Uzkok, who went up to Sydney halfway through the year, he's the type of player that could probably fill that role long-term.
I think so. He's just got that ability to be a real 360-degree player, and a lot of guys who played in defence don't quite master that as well as an out-and-out midfielder, but he seems to have that ability to know what's around him in every direction and be able to make a quick decision, and that decisiveness is very important in that position.
He's also a big threat from set pieces like Tomislav Uzkok, and the Knights will have the opportunity to...
Sanchez with the corner. And he got his head on that one. It's just as we were speaking about him there, Nikola Jurkovic, but it was just wide. It's a good ball in there by young Felipe Sanchez.
As we've said, he's made a real impact since coming on. Players like himself and Tardio getting the opportunity. Luka Jurkovic, it is quite a young attacking line at the moment for the Knights, as they try to chase this goal to get back level. Really didn't Hume City's chances of reaching a home final.
So at the moment, it's Danny Dixon's goal coming up from fullback. That's the difference between these two sides. Jurkovic. So we are into the final 7 or 8 minutes here now. Now here's Luka Jurkovic. Can he get the cross in? It's a decent one. Well, that was in the end. It was gathered on the second attempt by Michael Weir. And he can just slow things down a little bit again.
Hume are really managing it quite well at the moment.
They certainly are. They have dropped Ben Bowler back into that extra defensive position, but they haven't seemed to have invited an unnecessary amount of pressure on them, at least for the moment, but we'll see how that plays out in the final minutes here. Certainly don't want to speak too soon. The Knights' last performance in front of their home fans today, so they won't die wondering in these last few minutes. There's Jurkovic, plays the diagonal ball. He was looking for Tardio. The flag went up for offside though. Play continues. There's Jurčić getting forward, putting some pressure on, but in the end they can't win the corner. It's the goal kick is the decision.
Well, the referee did have his flag up for a long period, and obviously no headsets on the referee, so we're able to hear him, and in the end he's just given up and said, all right, just have the goal kick instead.
You just feel unloved when that happens to you as a linesman, I think.
He's got to raise the outside voice a little bit to scream at the referee. I'm sure if he lets the nearest Hume City player know that he was offside, he will definitely let the referee know that the game should stop.
Yeah, to their credit, I didn't see any Hume City arms go up or players stop there. They all continued. Something that will please their coach, Nick Hegarty.
And this is what I was saying about inviting pressure onto themselves with going with that back five. They're really struggling to hold onto the ball. Just giving the ball back to the Knights too cheaply.
When they come forward, there's just not a lot of options. It looks like Dalic is the only sort of player stationed forward. They certainly have got a lot of numbers back there just to keep pinging that ball away, as that one's just booted into the Mark Viduka stand. That sort of no-nonsense defending that you see when you're leading by the solitary goal in the final minutes.
Now Jurčić has got the long throw in his locker.
The ball should be a little bit drier now as well, so he might be able to launch this one. And that he does. It's away by Tennant. Now here's Howard. He's got time. Plays it up towards that prong, which is Dalic. Joey Franich times his sliding tackle fairly well there. Got the boot in and put it out over the touchline. And now Hume City will just intelligently wait for some players to move up the park, because Dalic was looking to throw that ball in. There was no one within about 20 metres of him.
Well, they're getting closer now. 87 minutes gone, so Hume City still holding on. Trying to get a real clean sweep of the Knights this year with winning their league match early in the season, the Doherty Cup, and now here at Knight Stadium. They also defeated the Melbourne Knights at Knight Stadium last year later in the season.
His bowler playing it up the field. Good header by Jurčić. And Hume City will win the throw. They'll take their time. Final episode of the Night Train on FNR, I believe, this week, tomorrow night. And the rumour that Smolich will close out with a song. I'm still trying to convince Tonchi Prusak to close out the Geelong Region Soccer Show with a song on Tuesday night.
Why not? It's the Night Train songs have been a huge addition. If anybody hasn't seen them yet, they need to be put on an album or Spotify or some sort of playlist for everybody can see.
They'd certainly be on very high rotation amongst fans around NPL, not only in Victoria.
I think that song about the play Preston Macedonia is probably my favourite on the album.
That could be the title track, who knows. As Gergic plays this ball forward, he's looking for Sewell. It's away by Wilson. It was Harris involved there. Now the ball's come forward towards Dalic.
Great pass there by Hewitt.
He's such a good range of passing, Steve Hewitt. And in the end, the two players come over to contest, put the ball out, and Hume City will just take their time. They're really just killing this game off.
Once again, with it out for a throw, Danny Dixon's taking all the time in the world to go and collect it. I do feel the refs have to be a little bit smarter with this and not allow this sort of stuff to happen a little bit.
You really feel from here that it's just killing the tempo of this one.
The ref really has the two options of making sure that every second is played in stoppage time or really hurrying him up, and he is now.
So we'll see how long it gets held up on the board, which won't be long. Now Howard's just put his foot on the ball. It's a real wrestle out there, a real slugfest. Throw into the Knights. Taken quickly is Joey Franich. What can the skipper do to inspire these Knights? Here's Bryce. He needs some options. He's got Jurkovic inside, but it was well read by Bozdigan. He's got a chance to shoot himself here. It's blocked by Gergic. It's just bouncing around the top there. Bozdigan with the volley.
They had a couple of chances to try to get on the score sheet. He actually did score in his first ever game for Hume City last year in a cup game against Richmond.
His eyes certainly lit up there when he saw that ball just pop up in front of him for the volley. There's Jurkovic there, just turning against Steve Hewitt there quite expertly. He's really looked the part in defensive midfield. Now, speaking of defenders in midfield, here's Corey Sewell. To play it up the wing, dinked into the box, and Mikulic let it run, but there was no one behind him. He thought Bryce was behind him, but he was another 20 yards further back. As Lazaridis brings the ball forward. Bryce gets the foot in. Now Caleb Mikulic. He's had a big game today. Jurkovic has got a little bit of space in front of him. This is Nicola. Out there to his brother Luca. Overlap from Bryce. Can Bryce get there? Well, he does, but he only succeeds in having it knocked out off his foot for a goal kick. As referee Azkura looks at his watch.
It's not too much time to go. I think it was a couple of minutes went up on the board. There's been a significant amount of delays this half, but looks like referee Azkura is going to be keeping this one to a minimum amount of extra time, or stoppage time, should I say. Weir with the goal kick. Sends it long up the park, over the halfway line. Here's Sewell. Up the park by Bowler. It's just turned into ping pong now. Headed by Howard. Here's Nikola Jurkovic. Back to Jurcic. So 1-2. He's got Bryce on this side. Bryce is screaming for it. Plays it into Sanchez instead. Jurcic. What can the Knights conjure up here in the final minutes? They've got a lot of players forward. Almost everyone except for Gergic has moved into that front third area of the park. There's Bryce going at it with Lazaridis. They win the throw. They can get some momentum here perhaps. Well, the last chances in the game here as Bryce will draw the ball and try to launch it into the box.
They need to win the header at the near post here. Bryce's throw. Sewell looking to flick it on. It's away by Wilson. Franich has lost out here. Here's Harris, the substitute. Good play by Harris there. He's found Dalic. Dalic was unable to keep it in. The referee's got his whistle in his mouth. As the sun comes across Knight Stadium. Sewell. Bryce. There's a chance here for Luka Jurkovic. The bowler was across well to lend a hand to Wilson to put that one out. We might see a final opportunity to attack here as the players will be looking right into the sun, or at least Bryce will be with this throw. Sends it in. It's flicked on, and here's the chance of the volley. It was Caleb Mikulic. It was blocked at point blank range. Jurcic. Here's Joey Franich. Plays it out towards Bryce, but it's intercepted well by Lazaridis.
Just a couple of moments there where Franich just couldn't find the pass to the teammate.
Here he is again. Here's Nikola Jurkovic as the sun shines on our window here. He dinks it in towards his team's goal scorer, Tadio, but it's away by that defence of Hume City. And it's a chance here for Dalic. Dalic, and he's put that one wide somehow with an open goal beckoning.
Gifkin's come out. He really had to clear it out wide, and in the end, he's played it straight into Dulwich.
Who's done a cool bit of play there, Chris.
He's done a lot of work for Hume City leading that line, especially pretty much won out the last 15 minutes. But he'd be so disappointed because he really should have been able to score that one. But in the end, it's enough for Hume City.
That's it. It's full time here at Knight Stadium, and Nikola Jurkovic boots the ball away in frustration as the whistle's gone here. And it's a 2-1 win to Hume City. So 2 wins in 2 weekends for Hume City over the Knights in the final game of the season here at Knight Stadium, at least. And these teams will go again one more time next week, with Hume City hosting Kingston at AVD Stadium, while the Melbourne Knights will travel to Dockland to play against Dandenong Thunder. So in the end, it was that winning goal coming from Hume City's fullback, Danny Dixon, who was also the Nutmeg King today, after earlier first half goals from Mitch Cooper and Adrian Tardio. It ends here 2-1 to Hume City. Chris, any final thoughts?
Well, Hume City just got the job done. They created plenty of opportunities by getting in behind the Knights and just couldn't find that final pass. A couple of times they were able to score. And it was a good goal there by Tardio in the first half, who broke clear and really showed how much of a promising footballer he is. But in the end, the Melbourne Knights, well, they haven't really got much to play for now. A Croatian derby to finish the season and try to lick their wounds and try to get back into the top 6 next year. But just letting everybody else know too, it is half-time between South Melbourne and Altona Magic. South Melbourne with Marcus Schroen with the goal. The second half will be kicking off soon, so you can always go over and get a bit more NPL Victoria fix and watch the second half of that.
That's right, Chris. So the NPL action just keeps on coming to you this afternoon, and also we will have a Monday night match between Kingston City and Dandenong City for you to enjoy, to beat the Monday Blues tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us here from Knight Stadium, both myself, Steve Curtin, and my co-commentator, Chris Gleeson. We hope you've enjoyed this match, and we look forward to bringing more games to you next week and throughout the finals series of NPL Victoria. And at this point, we'd like to recap the score. Hume City 2, Melbourne Knights 1, and it's good night from Summer Street.